I could not find a better puzzle to begin with in this episode of Women Who Can Play Chess. I consider this puzzle a rival to the evergreen puzzle, the greatest puzzle of history. There are an infinite number of possibilities, and I will try to present them all as much as possible. Now the first move is knight f5 check. Now if pawn captures knight h5 check. If king g8, queen captures bishop, then there is no solution to checkmate. He loses with the move queen g7. If king h8, the inevitable fate of black is delayed by 2 moves. After the queen captures bishop, rook g8, to defend checkmate. Queen f6 check. Forcing rook g7. Queen capturing rook checkmate. That's why black don't accept that poisoned sacrifice, and play king 8. Knight d7 to protect the queen from the rook's attack and prepare for a new attack. Now any negative move other than the bishop g7, loses the match, for example bishop c8. Knight f6 check. King g8. Knight captivated bishop of checkmate. If bishop g7. Queen captivate bishop checkmate. If he plays pawn captures knight. Queen captivates bishop. Of course, if the black played rook capture knight. Queen capturing rook checkmate. So the black completes knight capture e4, threatening the rook on g1 with his queen. Bishop d3. Now the black rook is threatened, and if he wants to escape with it, he has 2 possibilities, rook g8 or rook e8. If rook g8, white wins by the following moves. Knight captures d5, threatening an attack with discovering, and he win in a few moves. Knight captures knight. Bishop captivates knight check. f6. Bishop capture f6 check. Knight captures bishop. Queen captivate knight check. Rook g7 mandatory. Queen captivate rook check. Forcing rook g8 forcing again. Queen f6 check. Rook g7 mandatory. Rook e8 checkmate. But if he escaped with the rook for e8, white gets an overwhelming advantage with the following moves. Bishop captures knight. Rook captures a knight. Bishop captures pawn, a double attack with a checkmate on the h7 square, or takes the rook for free. f6 to defend checkmate. Bishop captivates rook. Now there is no good square the rook goes to, even the search engine suggests leaving it, and there is no defense for the pawn f6. But if the black play here, rook e6 loses by the following moves. Knight f6, now the threat is checkmate on h7 square. Rook captures knight. Queen captivate rook check. King g8. Bishop captures knight. You might think that the purpose of this move is to destroy the last defense of the rook to get it for free, but there is another plan. Bishop captivates bishop. Bishop captures e5 threat, now checkmate. King f8 to escape the loss of the match, but he postponed it no more. Queen h8 check. King e7. Bishop c7 discovering check. Bishop e4. Queen captivate rook check. King e6. Queen d6 checkmate. But if the black here plays queen c5, or any other negative move, it is preferable for the white to play here on checkmate better than taking the free rook, and the white wins by the next moves. Queen g5 check. King f8, of course if king h8, bishop captures e5 check, and the black becomes forced to lose his queen. Queen captivate rook check. Queen g7. Rook captures e5, a threat of discovering check. Queen captivates bishop. Rook captures pawn check. f6. Bishop capture f6 check. Queen captivates bishop. Queen captivate queen check. King g8. Queen f8 checkmate. And if king f7. Bishop h8 discovering check. Queen f6. Rook captivates queen checkmate. That's why the best black move here is f6. White completes the match with the following moves. Knight captures rook, threatened checkmate on the h7 square. Bishop a8. Bishop captures knight. Pawn captures bishop. Knight captivate h7, wonderful sacrifice. Queen captivates knight. Queen captures f6 check. Queen g7. Queen h4 check. King g8, bishop captures pawn, threatening the queen. Queen h7. Of course, the black cannot play knight captures bishop, otherwise he will lose his rook. Now the advantage of rook for white. After all these analyses, we make sure that bishop g7 is a mandatory move for the black to save his match. Knight captures a bishop. It is normal here for the black to respond to king capture knight, but here the white will launch a fatal attack on him. Queen f6 check. Compulsory king g8. Knight captures e5, opening the diagonal to the white bishop. Knight d4 trying to close that deadly diagonal. Knight captures f7, wonderful sacrifice. Rook captures knight. Queen captivate rook check. Rook f8. Queen captures knight, threatening to checkmate. There is no escape for the black except the trading of queens, although he is late with the rook. Knight captures e4. Bishop d3. Now overwhelming white supremacy. Therefore, after all the analyses we have presented, the black here cannot capture the knight, and his best move is a knight captures e4, threatening the rook with the queen. Rook captures knight. Queen captivates rook. Rook e1. Queen f2. Rook c1. If the black decides here to play king captures knight, the white will respond with force. Queen f6 check. King g8. Knight captures e5, and after opening the diagonal for the bishop and queen, winning becomes a matter of time. So here black plays queen captivates f4. Queen c7 threatening the bishop and unpin the knight. Bishop a8. Knight captures e5. King g8. Knight f5 is a wonderful sacrifice. If pawn captures knight. The brilliant winning move of knight g4. Now white threatens the queen, and checkmate threatens by move knight h6. But if the black here plays queen captures knight, then the white comes forward with the following beautiful plan. Knight g4 threaten checkmate. Queen g5 the only defense of the checkmate. Knight f6 check. Now if king h8, or king g7, the same response from the white knight e4, wins the queen. I hope you liked our analysis. I worked hard to limit the possibilities, and I am ready to hear new ideas. Just write them to us in the comments, and do not forget to press the like button, and please subscribe to the channel. We promise you the best always. Now that we have solved the powerful puzzle, we present to you a slightly easier puzzle, where here the white decides the match with one move. You can pause the video for a while and think about it. Yes, dear viewers of the Board and Fire channel, the solution is queen c8. Now if the black accept the sacrifice and play queen captures queen, she will lose the match by one move rook e8 checkmate. There are not many possibilities. If he tries to play queen b5 to defend the e8 square, she will get a checkmate with the move of queen captures bishop. Easy puzzle, I'm sure of it. A wonderful situation in which Sophie, you must win by 3 moves. You can think a little and you will come to the solution. Yes, dear follower of our Board and Fire channel, the solution is knight a7 check. Knight captures knight, forcing the black. Rook c1 check once again. Black is forced to play knight c6. Rook captivates knight, a second sacrifice, more wonderful than the first. Pawn captures rook. Bishop captivate a6 checkmate. We can only finish the first episode of this series with the position of the greatest player in chess history, Hungarian Polgar. Polgar ends that match with a great sacrifice, queen a4 check. Now if white accepts the sacrifice and plays rook captures queen, Polgar ends the match with 4 moves as follows: rook captivate rook check king b1 is forced. Rook h1 check. The 2 sacrifices will not save the white rook g1 and queen d1 from his inevitable fate. So the white does not accept the sacrifice and plays king b1. Polgar continues its brilliant plan with the move rook h1 check. For the white to lose his queen, forced to move queen e1. Polgar continues her attack with queen capturing rook, taking advantage of the queen being pinned. According to the search engine, the best move for the white rook g1. Queen captivates queen. Rook captivates queen. Rook captures rook with an overwhelming advantage to Polgar. No more ideas here. If white plays here queen captures a rook. Rook captivates queen check. King a2. Queen a4 checkmate, which proves that the search engine move is the best move available.